Good morning, good day to everyone. You're all looking not so bad for a bunch of folk who stayed up late rocking the house last night. Glad to see everyone looks like they got some sleep. Don't look too closely at this. There's about an inch of cover up there, taking care of some of the under eye stuff. This is also where you're going to find out that, yes, Christine did work in radio. Unfortunately for you, it was morning show. So I might be a little more chipper than you'd like. No, it was Indigenous radio, so the worst I'll do to you is play an up-tempo Dwight Yoakam song. We've got a beautiful day ahead for us, some incredible speakers and presentations coming our way as we continue to commemorate and honor 30 years of the path to prosperity. As we look at celebrating Indigenous prosperity, the spirit of our Indigenous entrepreneurs and the work that has been laid down for us by our elders before us and the work we look ahead to with the youth to come. Speaking of the youth, that silent auction that we were holding that we closed last night, we gave you a number. I've got an updated number for you, $11,867. That you have helped donate to and raise 100%, not just a portion, not just whatever people managed to cut aside that they didn't want to give to themselves, 100% going to support youth entrepreneurs to help launch us into a beautiful, beautiful future so that we can see ourselves soar into that prosperity. Our first panel this morning is the youth panel. It's next generation Indigenous entrepreneurs, technology, trade, and transformation. Indigenous youth are leading a new era of entrepreneurship using innovation, technology, and international opportunities to expand the reach and impact of their businesses. This dynamic panel will feature youth entrepreneurs, program leaders, and experts who are driving solutions in technology, global trade, and business innovation. They will share how they are leveraging digital platforms, probably better than the rest of us older folks in the room, incubators, mentorships, and international networks to scale their ventures. Please welcome our panelists, Amanda Muskego from Indigenous Youth Entrepreneurship Business Support Officer, Alberta Indian Investment Corporation. Keenan Beavis, Longhouse Branding and Marketing. Darion Ducharme, founder and CEO of Tukar. And Amanda Anderson, co-founder of Mashkiki Lifestyle and Company. And please welcome moderator, Amy Jackson, director of Mittohnee Pogo'ohtah RRC Polytech. Please welcome our youth panel.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Amy Jackson. I'm from Opaskwayak Cree Nation in northern Manitoba, but I currently live in Winnipeg, where I am the director for Mittohnee Pogo'ohtah, a Red River College initiative that focuses on entrepreneurial training for Indigenous entrepreneurs. So welcome to the next gen of Indigenous entrepreneurs, technology, trade, and transformation panel, where we explore how Indigenous youth entrepreneurs are using technology, international collaboration, and innovative approaches to grow their businesses and shape the future of Indigenous-led enterprises. So please join me in welcoming our amazing panelists this morning. To begin, I would like to invite each of you to take a few minutes to introduce yourselves and your businesses. So we'll start with Amanda.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Amanda Muskego, and I am Dene Southline from Cold Lake First Nations. I am the Business Services Officer for the Indigenous Youth Entrepreneur Program at the Alberta Indian Investment Corporation, where I support Indigenous youth ages 18 to 39 to start and grow their own businesses. So thank you for having me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keenan Beavis. I am the founder of Longhouse. I am a Métis entrepreneur from Vancouver, and I met Magnolia at the Indigenous Tech Conference a few months ago, and she was gracious enough to invite me all the way here to Gatineau, Quebec, and it's a really big privilege to be here. Longhouse works with Indigenous financial institutions, economic development corporations, and lots of businesses from a variety of industries. We help you look great and get seen.
Amazing. Good morning. I'm Darion Ducharme. I'm the founder and owner of Tech Care. Tech Care is an Indigenous training company. We go to First Nations. We train the kids on how to stay safe online with cyber safety. We also train the elders and community on how to stay safe online. And it's such a privilege to be here. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Amanda Anderson. I am Métis on my mother's side, a proud member of the Métis Nation of British Columbia, and Ojibwe on my father's side. I am the co-founder of Mashkiki Lifestyle & Co. along with my sister Monique. We are a home fragrance company with a focus on sustainability and using premium grade ingredients. This includes our Return Your Jar program, paraben phthalate-free fragrances, and reusable jars. What started as a way for us to reconnect to our culture quickly grew into something more. We launched our Give Back program, which helps support different charitable organizations each month with our Scent of the Month. Year one, we tested our products. Year two, we brought our products to the market with amazing feedback from the community and the public. This launched into our wholesale journey with a focus on corporate gifting, and we're super excited to be here. We're proud to say that we're in over 23 retail locations across Canada and the US, so thank you for having us.
Yeah. Wow, what an incredible group of entrepreneurs we have on the panel here this morning. If you haven't noticed, we have two Amandas on the panel. So one of which I will refer to Amanda M, and the other one I will refer to as Amanda A. And this first question that we have this morning is for Amanda M. And so you work directly with youth through NACA's Indigenous Youth Entrepreneurship Program. From your perspective, what elements make a program truly effective in helping young Indigenous entrepreneurs start and scale their ventures?
With my experience working with the Indigenous youth through NACA's Indigenous Youth Entrepreneur Program, I find the most important elements of an effective program is creating spaces where these youth feel seen, supported, and connected to one another. So very much like us gathered in this room, last week, the Alberta Indian Investment Corporation held a summit, a 2-day intensive workshop called the Deadly CEO Summit. And we had such an overwhelming response from all of our participants, a lot of really great energy in the room of entrepreneurs from all across Alberta coming together, learning, growing, and supporting one another. And I feel like it was really effective, and the feedback, as I mentioned, was just overwhelming. So if you get enough Indigenous entrepreneurs together in a room to learn, to network, and to grow, they also dream even bigger. So as we know, entrepreneurship can be one of the scariest journeys, full of uncertainty, self-doubt, and a lot of pressure. So we like to encourage the youth and remind them that they belong in spaces such as this in their entrepreneurship journey. Another effective element I find is meeting the youth entrepreneurs where they're at. So whether that means slowing down, having more patience, or whether that means trying to keep up with them. Because as we have already seen from yesterday's Launchpad pitches, our youth are incredibly sharp, quick, innovative, and very intelligent. They are also very audacious in the best possible way. They have huge dreams and bold ideas. So one of the things that make an effective program is to provide more than just funding. It requires mentorship, guidance, relationships, and that ongoing support and it matters just as much as the funding. These young entrepreneurs need someone in their corner to say, yes, you can do this. Let's figure it out together. So the biggest part of my role is just walking alongside them in that journey, helping them build the confidence and connecting them with resources and opportunities. Because as we know, entrepreneurship is not just about business, it's about empowerment, self-determination, and creating opportunities for the future. And as these entrepreneurs are supported properly, there's no limit to what they can achieve.
Thank you so much, Amanda. That was great.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I agree completely. I think community is really, at the heart of an entrepreneur's success. And I love that, you have the opportunity to walk alongside of them and cheer for them as they work on their ventures.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. This next question is for Amanda A. Can you share a personal story of a mentor or a program or even an initiative that significantly shaped your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, for sure. So what really sparks, what started everything for us was we applied to do the powwow pitch. And we knew going into that we were going to get hooked up with a mentor. And of course, we would have loved to win the money, but we knew that knowledge with the mentor was going to be really valuable for us to grow our company. So we were hooked up with Anthony Wingham from Nuez Acres, and he's been an amazing support for us. He's helped us through the Export Navigate program, so we're continually working on that to start exporting outside of the country as well. And also just different entrepreneurs that we've met along the way, just giving us an amazing advice, and elders too, like just telling us like, you guys are gonna do amazing, just don't give up, and just like even something so simple as that just really sticks with you. So it really does take a community, and we wouldn't be sitting here on the stage across the country if it wasn't for our community and everyone who's helped us along the way. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I believe it was Shannon yesterday that mentioned the value in putting together even an advisory committee for your own, for your own business journeys. And I thought that was an incredible tip. But it's so true of how, I guess, critical it is in your success is making sure you have that advisory piece, that mentorship piece in place as you work on your businesses.
Yes.
So Darion, what programs or incubators or mentorship opportunities have been most valuable to you in scaling your own venture?
Oh, wow. That's such an amazing question. I'm here today because of the mentorship and the programs that I've been in. Last year, I was in the C program, which was awesome. But this last year, one that has been like so close to my heart was the Mittohnee program, actually with Amy Jackson over here. Funny enough. And what has been so impactful with the Mittohnee program was they provided mentorship for you. And mentorship means realness for me. It means they get to know you in the good, bad, and ugly, who you are as a person. Sometimes when you have bad days, you get things that cancel on you, and they're really there for you. And I'm just going to share one moment where you were actually there for me and in the program, which meant so much. I was having a bad day. We go to many First Nations throughout the school year. Some school times we're booking like 15 First Nations a month, and it's a lot of work. It's very difficult. And I had issues, and I remember, I think you noticed that I had a really bad day, and I was just struggling, and you texted me after, and you're like, hey, how can we come and support you? Like real support, not just like thoughts and prayers, you know what I mean? But like, how can I really support you? And then I was like, hey, I just need help with this, and I'm like really struggling. And you came alongside me, you got someone to help me book these events. And it provided so much relief to me. And it was incredible because I was like, whoa, people actually care, and they show they care in these moments of just like day-to-day life. So that was the Mittohnee program. fantastic. They provide you a stipend, but also they provide you with people that can actually help you grow your business. So it's been very impactful for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Darion. I promise to all of you I did not ask him to say that, so.
Oh, hey.
But I appreciate it.
Being real here today.
But clearly, you know, mentorship and programs help lay a critical foundation in each of our journeys. So, but now we get to explore technology and digital tools and how they're enabling Indigenous youth to grow their businesses. And so for this question, I have for Keenan. Technology is evolving rapidly, from AI to digital platforms. What emerging tech trends do you see as game changers for Indigenous entrepreneurs? And how can youth get ahead of the curve?
I'll start with AI. AI is maybe overused as a bit of a buzzword, but I think it is a real equalizer for youth, Indigenous youth, and even more than that, it's a force multiplier. I have a friend named Aze. He just goes by Aze, A-Z-E, and he is a short film creator and like a world builder, and he can do things now in creating like IP, like Biolands or Age of Beyond or Capital of Conformity, which you guys can find on YouTube. He gets millions of views on YouTube, hundreds of millions of views across all the social medias, and he's creating all these like immersive, crazy worlds that used to take dozens of people to create, and he's able to do it from a computer. And I think that that kind of force multiplier is going to be very interesting to watch. Most intimately, how AI is impacting my space in branding and marketing. And I have a book coming out in July called Answer Mapping, and it's answering how do you become the answer on platforms like ChatGPT. 44% of company searches are now happening on these AI-enabled platforms. So our business was very focused on how do you help businesses be a top result on Google, but that's not the only place people are now looking for companies or looking for resources. And this is something that like everyone in this room can actually do to empower Indigenous youth. The thing that these AI engines are hungriest for is real stories. So if you are able to highlight, maybe you're an economic development corporation and you're able to highlight business owners from your community, or if you're an Indigenous financial institution and you want to highlight the businesses or the success stories, because you have a trusted brand, when you have content that features maybe like one of our businesses or something like that, what that does is it gives ChatGPT or Google or like Google's Gemini the confidence to recommend you, and then also deeper context on what the business does. And when you do that, you're empowering the people that you're promoting.
Wow, thank you for that answer. That's really great. I'm sure we all took something away from that. So this next question is for Darion. You work with Indigenous communities on digital literacy and safety. What are the most common challenges youth face when applying digital skills to start or grow their businesses? And how do you help them overcome those obstacles?
Wow. I could go so many areas with this, and I'll share this one thing. We have done cyber safety workshops with schools, and we've had teachers in the schools come up and say, I didn't know anything you were talking about, but now I know. Or I didn't know anything you were talking about before you shared, but now we actually know this. And it's like cyber safety basic stuff that maybe we take for granted if we live in maybe more of a urban setting. You know, if you're in a rural setting, we take things for granted. I'll give you an example here. We went to a First Nation, and this is about 5 months ago. We had an elder in the community say they were just scammed of the Nigerian prince scam. And for us, this is a social media meme that we know from 10 years ago. But this community recently got access to reliable high-speed internet. Think about that for a moment. That's kind of crazy. So we're doing a lot of catching up. And sorry, what was the last part of your question there?
what are the most common challenges youth face when applying digital skills to start or grow their businesses, and how do you help them overcome these obstacles?
Yeah, and it goes into also AI. I know it's a huge buzzword, but I make this joke when we go up north. They're like, "Tell me more about IA," because they really don't know anything about it. They know maybe the bad things that you've heard of it, and maybe there is bad things. I completely agree with people's what they have to say about that, but there's amazing things that you can use like with these tools to actually help you grow your business, maintain your business, but also like get a digital footprint like in a positive way for your business. Because in this day and age, you can do I say this, you can do the best things in the world, but if you're not online and people don't see, it's not going to help you grow. And maybe you could do that in the 80s, maybe you could still do it today and have word of mouth referrals, but really you need to be online in this day and age. And just posting, being authentic.
Awesome, thank you. With digital tools and skills in hand, many youth are now exploring global markets. So let's hear about their experiences in expanding internationally. Amanda, what strategies or lessons have you learned from entering markets beyond local or national community? And what advice would you give Indigenous youth considering global expansion?
Yeah, so we've really used the tech to further our company just through building our website on Shopify and having a further reach through that, reaching out to companies through social media and expanding further along the border. We've used platforms such as like Fair for wholesaling. So we've really utilized those type of tools to export, but we're still new in that journey and we're excited to grow as well. So looking forward to what's coming next.
Awesome. And like you had mentioned earlier, the mentorship piece was really,
Yes.
critical for like exploring that expansion piece.
Yes, doing your research and just knowing what can go across the border and learning, yes.
And Keenan, you work with clients across Canada and internationally. What lessons have you learned about taking Indigenous-led business beyond local markets? And what advice would you give to youth entrepreneurs looking to expand globally?
So I've trained like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since I was 12. I'm 31 now, so like 18 or so years. And I've been very blessed to have in my life Marcus Soares, who, took a chance on himself. He came from Brazil to Canada. He was the first ever black belt to bring Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to our country. Now there's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, multiple Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms in like every city. And he came here taking that chance on himself, not even speaking the language. And what he would say is that champions are made by focusing on the foundations, the basics. And if I was to give any advice to any entrepreneur, most of my speaking would be like say to Indigenous like youth entrepreneurs, I would say make sure that you have really taken the time to understand your own brand. And a brand is so much more than a logo. It's the story behind your products. It's the messaging that you and your entire team is going to, continuously use. It's your packaging. Because if your packaging doesn't jump off the shelf in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere in the world that you take it, then you haven't honed in the basic foundations yet. And that's something that I think also, Indigenous financial institutions or economic development corporations can, support like Indigenous youth with is, it doesn't take that much to get a really great foundation. Under $50,000, you can have the best brand in your industry. We worked with like a karate academy, and they were funded by like the Métis Financial Corporation of BC, and now they have the best looking karate academy in all of Vancouver. They're able to, do things with their walls, and they have the best brand, and they've updated their website, and they have an advertising campaign that just gives them a little bit of a kickstart, which then, if you're doing good digital advertising, you should know what your return on ad spend is. So now they don't need any more funding. They're able to one, pay back, say, the loan, but then two, they're able to now continue that success forever.
That's awesome. Thank you. Moving from global opportunities, let's explore gaps and supports needed to help the next generation of Indigenous entrepreneurs thrive. So Amanda, Amanda M, what gaps still exist in supporting Indigenous youth, and how can communities, organizations, or investors step in to help bridge these?
That is a great question, Amy. So at the Alberta Indian Investment Corporation, the biggest gap that I have seen while working with Indigenous youth is financial literacy. So this is the most requested workshop amongst the nations as well as communities. It's also the biggest support area that I work with the youth during their application process. So currently the youth already have the creativity, the vision, the motivation, and the innovation. Many haven't been taught budgeting, cash flow, bookkeeping, taxes, credit, and business financing. So it's no surprise yesterday that our launchpad pitch winner was Bradley with his bookkeeping business, because it is really, there is a need for it. So I have found that working with the Indigenous youth through helping them gain more financial knowledge also gives them more confidence. As soon as they start getting the understanding the tasks, understanding the cash flow, it's like a light bulb goes off in their head and they're like, I can really do this. So it helps make them feel that their entrepreneurship journey is achievable. So for organizations or communities or investors looking to help, they can help by bringing workshops such as financial literacy into their community, which is something that the IYE program does deliver. Virtual or in person. A common theme on the couch today is mentorship opportunities. So bringing those mentorship opportunities in bookkeeping, accounting guidance, financial literacy, also creating that safe space to ask questions, because the Indigenous youth have so many questions and they're all good questions. No question is a bad question. So allowing them to feel comfortable just to even ask. So funding is very important, as we all know, but education, mentorship, that ongoing support are equally as important. Another thing that I think is important is consistency. So having just a one-off workshop or just, having one workshop in a high school isn't going to be as effective as that consistency, as well as follow-up that creates that long-term impact. So as we see all the time, and as we've seen here in this last few days, the youth already have the potential. We just need to continue building these supports and opportunities around them.
Clearly, we're hearing a lot of, the value of course, offering technical training to entrepreneurs to set up fundamentals early on in their journeys, but we're also hearing a lot about the value in wraparound services, including mentorship and being available, to peer mentor, group mentor, and then also one-on-one mentorship is extremely valuable. So this last question today is for all of our panelists. And so looking ahead, how do you envision the next generation of Indigenous youth entrepreneurs shaping industries like technology, trade, and innovation? Do we want to start with Amanda?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like it's very important for us to set the path and the tone for the next generation so that they are feeling comfortable and confident and just really be the trailblazers for them, inspiring them to just have someone to look up to, who they can relate to. I think is very important. So.
Hi. I tell the youth in my workshops that nothing's impossible. That's really there could be the next prime minister in the room, in the schools that I go to. And what technology unlocks is the ability to do anything. If you have a Starlink system in your home community, you can access the internet, you can do free education, but also, like I said, nothing's impossible. So I think the next generation is very bright, and I believe in very strongly prosperity for the future of our First Nations across Canada. And I'm doing my part, with the training. We're doing cyber safety training, not super glamorous. I love what I do, but again, it's a piece of the pie to create sustainability and prosperity for the next generation, and I hope I inspire the kids, right? That's basically it.
I agree with Darion. Like, nothing is impossible, and if you see it, you can become it. So my urging for everyone is just bring visibility to your Indigenous vendors, your Indigenous clients, and your Indigenous employees, because when people see the stories, then they can see themselves in it.
Yeah, so good.
Exactly. I think visibility and representation really matters. And in our lifetime, we've seen a lot of firsts. And so that just goes to show that in any industry, Indigenous entrepreneurs can exist. And I think that we're going to see that in innovation and technology and trade in our lifetime as well. And programs like the Indigenous Youth Entrepreneur Program, it is the newest program, just launched last spring. And a line from our wonderful MC, she mentioned yesterday that she saw a baby in the room. And, that baby is going to grow up knowing that these programs exist. And they're not going to know a time before. Hopefully, the IYE and programs like this continue to prosper and to continue helping Indigenous youth, so that that baby will never have to grow up knowing that there was never an IYE program. So that is the goal, and I'm really excited. There's going to be so many firsts in our youth, and I think that there is no limit. Nothing is impossible. So it is a very exciting time, and I'm really proud and happy to be a part of it.
Wow, well, thank you to our incredible panelists this morning for sharing your insights and experiences today. It's truly inspiring to hear about the innovation and creativity and impact that Indigenous youth are making across all industries. Programs, mentorship, and international collaborations are all critical in nurturing the next generation of Indigenous leaders, and your stories highlight just how powerful these supports can be. So I encourage everyone here to continue championing youth entrepreneurs, exploring new opportunities for partnership and investing in innovation that empowers Indigenous youth to lead and thrive. Can we get a quick round of applause for everyone today? Thank you.
Good job, guys.
And that leaves us with about 10 minutes left for some questions, if we have anybody in the audience that would like to ask any of these incredible entrepreneurs something.
So much.
Is this on? Is this on? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Keith Matthew again. So impressed with the panel that we've assembled of our youth and, the leaders. You're not future leaders, you're leaders right now. And you need to accept that responsibility. So I know that you're doing incredible things in your communities. And the expectation is that you help mentor those younger people coming up, just like we are today as the leaders in our own communities. Technology is good, but I think it's limited in the scope to help our communities out. I heard discussion here today about how technology can help us, but what are the limitations of that technology and our communities? There's a digital divide out there. I heard from Darion that, with getting high speed into some of our communities, the potential for scamming is huge. And, there's IFIs across the board here that need help in making sure that their systems are being protected and looked after. And none of us are immune, none of us. And the more that you go online, the more information is being gathered about you. These algorithms are insidious. Our socials, they're being used to collect our information. There are a lot of dangers out there online, and I'd like to hear more about that and how we can look after our membership and our people, because there's a lot of people in the room who aren't, especially myself. I gotta be careful about that.
Thank you.
Let me finish, Darion.
Sorry.
Yeah. So really enjoyed your presentation, but one thing that technology doesn't do, and we have to be careful about what we share. We're not an open book. We can't be an open book for AI. Mm-hmm. What happened in our community in Shuswap Nation, where I'm from, there was a couple of authors that came in and took our creation stories and basically put them into a book. They owned the copyright to it. Mm-hmm. We're in those days right now with AI, and we need to be careful about protecting what we have right now. And there's an AI minister in Ottawa, and he just traveled across Canada asking, what Canadians thought about AI. We weren't represented there. We need to be involved to safeguard what's important to us, our culture, our language, our history, and we got to be careful about what we share. So really interested in hearing your thoughts about that, but I think there's a trap there as well, because we need to get our people back in the land as well, in a real way. So technology will not do that for us.
It's fair.
We need to go back. We need to understand who we are in a real way as Indigenous people. Technology is limited in its applications to do certain things. And what we have to do is safeguard the things that we have already, and we need your help. Kukshdam.
Wow. That's incredible. You have such an amazing heart. There is real risk. There is huge risks. When we used to train cyber safety 5-10 years ago, it was look out for formatting errors and grammar errors. Today, we don't have that, right? There could be a fake e-transfer link or a fake Meta or Facebook link that they get in their email that looks so real. And another risk is in 3 years, you and I won't be able to tell the difference between an AI-generated image online or an AI-generated video. Today, you might be able to see, inconsistencies. But this is what we train the kids in the schools. We show them the Will Smith eating spaghetti video to show them how fast AI is progressing with AI-generated video. And then we ask the kids in the school, I give them tickets that they put in the raffles so they can win the prize at the end. And I say, because I want to encourage participation, right, and learning. And I say, how can this harm our communities? If you can't tell the difference between a real video and a fake video, how can this harm your loved ones? I put that on the kids, and then they tell me the most amazing answers. They're smart kids, right? They're like, oh, they can be scammed. It could hurt their reputation, right? The leadership in the community there could be fake videos. And this is happening right now. Bad actors all across the world are targeting our First Nations because, A, we're getting huge settlement claims, and that's what they assume. Everyone's getting that, like cows and plows, hydro settlements. So they're being targeted. And whether we like it or not, AI is here to stay, I believe, and technology is going to progress even further. And I want us to know the good, bad, and ugly of things, right? And I understand there's a lot of ugly. We share that. It's a scary time, but I want to empower to know the information to go into this world, because we don't live in a high-trust society anymore where you could just believe everything someone says online, right? There's so much fake stuff out there. And AI can produce things that sound good, sound smart, sound factually correct, but it doesn't mean it always is. So that's what I'm doing. So for example, 2 weeks ago, I was in Ottawa sharing with I said what I see And for example, I was in Shamattawa First Nation because one of my trainers didn't want to go. They went last year and they had extreme difficulty. No cell phone coverage, every window smashed in the community. There's spray paint on the side of the houses saying, "Get the F out." And it's very, very heartbreaking. And one of the teachers in the schools showed me a picture on their phone of how they got clean drinking water or reliable water. And it was from a pipe outside of the school. And I say this, I was like, if you don't have your basic needs of reliable, clean, easy to access drinking water, I can't blame you for not really caring about cyber safety. And these are some of the issues that I've seen. We've been to so many First Nations, over 80. And I'm trying to do my part, and I recognize AI it can be very dangerous because it can allow low-level scammers and hackers to really hurt a lot of people. But I want us to know these things, right? And I want us to be there for the technology reformation because things are changing very, very quick. And if we don't keep up with it, we're going to be lost. And I want us to be successful. And I do see that there's a part of AI with that. So
I do feel like this generation is well equipped to not only be in ceremony, to be on the land, to carry that knowledge forward, but also we do take ethical considerations into account when we're thinking about AI and the responsibility that we have when we use these tools and educate each other on these tools. So, and then that's what I, really appreciate about working with young entrepreneurs every day is hearing that while they carry, our stories and knowledges forward, we're also sharing knowledges about AI and technology with our communities at the same time. So it's really, an incredible role in the community that each of you are playing. And I just want to thank you again for being here with all of us this morning and sharing your stories. So I think that takes us to the end of our session here today, but these folks will be around all day. So if you have any further questions, they'll be here to take them. So thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you again to our incredible youth panel. And that really fascinating conversation. I had read a remark a little while ago that I tried very hard not to take personally, which is that any technology that was already in place when you have come into the world makes sense and is natural. Any technology that is introduced to you after the age of 30 is evil and should not be happening. Yes, and one of the things I try not to do when I'm in these positions is to offer too much of a personal, I get in trouble a lot for showing my biases. So I just tell people right out of the gate, my biases are my Indigenous people. You need to know that. And my Indigenous language. So what we don't get taught, we do not know. And one of the things that I know has been promoted to me about technology and language recovery is how well we could just go on the internet and learn our languages, which seems like a really cool thing on the outset. So this is a story really quickly I'd like to share, is that I didn't start speaking really well until my late 20s. I had a conversation yesterday evening, and I think that sometimes I forget that I need to tell people this, because especially when I come into rooms like this, the comfort and the ease with which I speak then belies the fact that, one, it sounds like that because maybe the rest of the room doesn't know the language I'm speaking, so can't tell that my language, it's not as good even as I speak French. But the other thing I would especially like the young people to know is that it was in that learning from my mother, my grandmother, and my aunties that helped to repair and build an incredible relationship and helped us to remember and teach other people that I never would have gotten had I learned that. So yes, we do need to keep up with that technology, absolutely. But I encourage you, please, for our knowledge, for your knowledge, for that language, for all of that that we are trying to recapture again. We didn't lose it, it was taken. And we're taking it back, but we need to take it back, and we need to ask for it from our elders. And when we do that, it's not simply for the respect, it's not simply because they are the ones with the knowledge, but because of the healing that happens in that process. Okay, thank you so much for allowing me to say that.